I was 5 years old when the beauty and innocence of my childhood faded. I was showing my stepbrother my baby photo album and told him that my godfather, who is also my uncle-in-law, was my biological father. He said, "No, that's not your father." My sassy 5-year-old self said, "Yeah, huh? Uncle B is my father." To me, I didn't see anything wrong with calling my godfather uncle and not dad. So we went back and forth. Then finally he said, "All right, go ask your mom." My mother was in the kitchen washing the dishes. Her back was facing me. And I said, "Mommy, Uncle B is my father, right?" She said, "No." And my stomach sank. I said, "Well, who's my father?" She didn't respond. Her silence, along with the knowledge that the person who I thought was my father wasn't my father, and that my real father wasn't in my life, was incomprehensible to my young mind. Almost immediately, my light-hearted nature and joy evaporated. I was a vibrant and fiery girl up until learning that I had an absent father. I became extremely shy, plagued with low self-esteem, and didn't have a good sense of my worth. I felt ashamed, so I isolated myself from most of my peers because I dreaded having to tell my classmates that my father wasn't in my life. By the time I was a preteen, I learned it was actually easier to say he was dead. But what affected me the most was that I didn't know who I was because I didn't know who he was. I finally met him when I was 13, and I immediately recognized him because I looked just like him. We smiled exactly the same. I thought meeting him would make me feel better, but it made me feel worse. He was well off, highly respected in his field, and had the means to support and protect me, but chose not to. A few years after meeting my father, I decided to stop going to church because I was sick and tired of referring to God as Father. I was also tired of unanswered prayers. I didn't trust my parents, therefore I couldn't trust God. I had a distorted image of who God was and automatically believed that God abandoned me too. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. So I decided to go on a journey of exploring my inner world in an attempt to desperately gain an understanding and awareness of myself. With the help of therapy, I learned that I would continue to suffer emotionally, spiritually, and mentally if I didn't heal my inner little girl. In fact, one important concept I took away from therapy was that as adults, we have to learn how to parent our inner child. As young children, we make the core decisions about who we are, and those ideas become our identity. When revisiting my childhood, I learned to act like a detective and ask myself a series of questions pertaining to little me. It was challenging at first because there were some memories that were too painful to explore. But having a trained professional as my guide not only helped me heal, but also helped me explore my inner world and integrate fragmented parts of myself. While going through my therapeutic journey, I realized that expressing myself through art was a way for me to nurture my inner child. Remember that vibrant and fiery little girl I mentioned earlier? Well, I realized she never left. She came out to play in my paintings through colors. She also gave me the drive to pursue art and leave my hometown, even when it didn't make sense. She called the shots from time to time and got myself in some messy situations, especially when she was feeling unseen. Ironically, she also kept me in the shadows for fear of being truly seen. When I became aware of my wounded inner child, I felt great compassion for her and became more present and mindful of my inner dialogue. I no longer accepted feelings of unworthiness and became very mindful of what I said after saying, I am. For me, learning how to reparent my inner child happened in stages. I chose to forgive my parents because I wanted to move forward. I also decided to return and reacquaint myself with God because I wanted to come home. Developing an intimate relationship with a higher power gave me clarity because the healing power of God's love gently reached my inner child and brought out the wholeness and freedom that I was longing for. Doing the inner work and becoming aware of my wounded parts not only helped me heal, but also helped me tap into my true identity. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell button. Remember to take care of your inner child. See you soon.